So hi, it's Grandma Sparky. My real name is Helise, like Hellenice, Helice, Bridges, like a bridge builder. But everybody calls me Grandma Sparky, and I really love it. That I am the founder and executive director of Blue Ribbons Worldwide, is uniting humanity through the power of love, one child, one community, one country at a time. In our divided states of America and the world, where people are putting each other down instead of building each other up, where people are focused on what's not working rather than what is, we get to transform that with a blue ribbon that says who I am makes a difference. Get everybody, like a compass, get everybody pointing to honoring their teachers, their parents, their siblings, their neighbors, their friends, everybody, and letting them know how much they are appreciated, respected, and loved. And this is a magic tool. It is like a compass. It points to what's working. When you decide that you want to shift out of what I call flat world of a punishment model where everybody is blaming and shaming and complaining and judging is the common conversation of 99.9%. What if we decided that we would be pointing at what is working, what we appreciate about each other, and place a blue ribbon above their hearts, cheer people on for their dreams, and give them 2 extra ribbons to pay it forward? We'll talk more about the integrity of this ribbon, the science behind this, in a moment, okay? Just so you know, before that is on February 5th, 2024, Blue Ribbons Worldwide will be launching San Diego Teens Enhanced Mental Health of 50,000 people with this blue ribbon. They'll be honoring 50,000 people and telling the stories about the difference it made when they walked up to people and told them how much they were loved, respected, and appreciated. And that will be a model for the world, starting in one city. And we're going to have that created everywhere. And so let me bring you into somebody that I adore, one of the greatest teachers that I know. We call him Science Brad. I call him Science Brad. What I want to begin with is just one, tell me, first of all, where you're teaching now, what grade you're teaching. And then I'm going to ask you how we met and the difference it made. We'll just begin there. How about that?
Sounds good to me.
So just tell us, so you're teaching what, 8th grade now?
Oh, I'm teaching 7th and 8th grade science.
7th and 8th.
In Crookston, Minnesota, which is a town of about 8,000 people.
Yeah.
And the northwest corner of Minnesota.
Northwest corner.
We're about 20 miles from the North Dakota border.
Is that right? And now you've been a teacher for how long now?
This is my 21st year teaching.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And you're a dad?
Yes.
Your son is
I'm
how
a
old now?
husband and a father. I have my wife, Kara, and I have my son, Lincoln. He is 5. He'll be 6 next month.
My God. Oh my God. So I was out there visiting you, and tell everybody how we met. Can you remember?
Yes. I've been using the blue ribbons for quite some time, but when I was doing my suicide prevention presentation, I was just talking about the blue ribbon, but I had never ordered them. And so I had a parent that decided that they wanted to order them for me, and I got the blue ribbons from her, and we got about 200 of them. And then you decided to call and see how I was using them in my classroom and how I was using them to affect people and try to change their lives. And that's how we got connected. I'd really just kind of taken this to a whole new level with where we've been. So it's been a fun ride.
So here's the miracles. Is probably I periodically see the orders that come in, but it doesn't get shipped from me. It goes shipped from our shipping department, and all of a sudden I was pulled to your order, for 200 ribbons. And I thought, I'm going to call him just to say thank you. Thank you for that. And had no idea that you were using him in your 6th grade class, I think.
Yep.
When they graduated, is
When
that
they
right?
graduate, yeah, at their graduation. Yep.
And you always wrote a handwritten note,
I do. Yep.
personal. So you wrote a personal note, am I right?
Yes, to each student.
And did you always do that?
I started that in 2008. Um, so I did that without putting blue ribbons in there probably for 10 years, 9 or 10 years.
Right.
But I told the story. I had an email, a forwarded email about the story of the teacher in New York, and I told the story to the students and talked about it, but I never actually ordered the ribbons. And so in 2008, I think, or 2000, sorry, 2018-ish, somewhere in there is when we got connected and I ordered the ribbons, maybe
So
2000.
what for those that don't know the story, by the way, because not everybody does, it was it is an the Chicken Soup for the Soul original book, which was a New York Times bestseller, and it really was about one teacher in New York who honored her students with the blue ribbons, and how that eventually wound up saving uh, a 14-year-old boy from committing suicide. It's a very powerful, excuse me, story, and it is on our homepage, Blue Ribbons, BLUERIBBONS.org. Go and check it out. Just when you open it up, just click on it and you'll watch. It's a photo movie. It was #1 for 10 weeks on YouTube in the
I would say for
nonprofit
sure check it
category.
out. I show it to my mental health class. I teach a mental health class that is 2 weeks in length. And I'm going to be teaching it to all of the middle school kids here at our school. And one of the class sessions that I run every 2 weeks, I show the video and we talk about it. And then that's how I introduce the blue ribbon to my students.
So here's the thing that we're talking right now. Mental health is probably one of the #1 biggest problems facing our youth today, according
100%.
according to the Surgeon General. And he says, if we are coming from kindness, if we're coming from respect, if we have to really be that for our children. But basically, in this case, we're going to be teaching the children how to be that for their parents and the adults, because really, in my experience, adults really are very angry about a
Yes.
bunch of stuff, and don't have the solutions to, like that you're saying about what you're teaching right now, is how to uplift each other and how to engage in connecting and honoring rather than destroying each other, or having our clenched fists and I'm right, you're wrong. That ain't gonna work. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of came full circle today when that student was giving the his suggestion for helping his friend that was in peril. Give him a blue ribbon. He said that'll help him, make him feel better. And so that
Why don't you start that again, because that's going to be a separate clip that we started with.
okay, okay,
So
sure.
why don't you say, because what you're faced with, the difference between elementary and middle school is quite a lot.
Yes.
Yes, and look at that look on your face. It's one is when you're with the younger ones, we can teach them something and they're still sweet and they're doing, and then when there's also a different maturity level that it doesn't exist yet with middle school students, and they're all the body is changing, the hormones are all there. They're also creating the brain opens up to a whole new place that says, I need to express my individuality. And all of a sudden, they're another species.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's completely different. And being a teacher is confronting and challenging, and also it's you're all about mental health right now. Tell us what you know about statistics about mental health, so that we have that experience. Then we'll talk about this young person. that was a, you know, would you say this was a really good positive thing that happened today?
Yeah.
Got understood.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
to be honest, I'm not really running anything on statistics. I'm just running all my mental health my passions for my mental health in my classroom is based on just need as to what I see in my room. And the school district that I moved to, as I was touring the school, for my interview, the principal pulled me aside kind of in one of the empty rooms and said, if you have a passion for mental health, we need you here. I know I've had several of my students have attempted already this year. And I've got some cutting, and I've had kids that have been in some serious places, some deep dark places. And so my mission is to try to help give them supports they need by bringing in Polk County Mental Health, bringing you in, and bringing the Blue Ribbon in, and giving them tools that they can use. And so that tool, the Blue Ribbon tool, came to use today in my class because we had Polk County Mental Health speaking about suicide prevention
right.
and ways you can help your friends, parents, anybody. And she asked the class, "Is there anything that you think can be done? What would you do to help your friend or somebody that you thought would be in need?"
Who was it that
Um,
asked that question
one of
again?
my students is a boy that was
But who was
kind of
that? They Polk County
a Polk
mental
County
health,
mental health, Polk
men,
County Public Health.
public health, and there was
Yep.
somebody that was coming there for the mental health.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Coming to talk about, and they had a presentation up on the smart board,
Yeah,
kind
okay.
of going through and kind of giving the kids resources and kind of where do you go and who do you call, that type of thing. And so one of the boys raised his hand. That he seems that's one of my kids that is troubled in class a little bit, has trouble focusing, and he said, "Well, you can give him a blue ribbon. That'll make him feel better." And so I immediately ran to my computer and grabbed from my pile at my desk of my ribbons, and went back there and I honored him with a ribbon quick. And he was wearing it still when I saw him after the class in the hallway, and I told him he did a great job in class today, and I was proud of him. And he had a big smile on his face, and so that's what it's all about.
Yeah, let me bring this into this quieter, deeper, important place that when anybody's looking at this ribbon, okay? Um, and I'm going to honor you right now uh, because it's you're so Brad. I have a blue ribbon for you, and it says who I am makes a difference, and I would love to honor you and tell you how you matter to me. One is you're the most endearing, confident, forward moving father, husband, teacher. You're there for your kids, and you're up against it even at this stage. But what you always do is you have been committed to saving kids' lives. You have brought your whole community together at Moose Lake, which was a small town of 2,300. But because you brought them all together around this ribbon and made sure everybody got honored, you brought the newspaper in. You kept bringing that in, and all of a sudden, your message really impacted your state. And I just want to say that sometimes we think if we're a small person in a small town, we can't matter, but you did. And I am so honored to be hanging with you and doing whatever we can because your model is a model for our nation and world. Honestly, would you accept this gift?
Absolutely.
May I have permission to place it on you?
Yes.
So virtually, unless you have a ribbon there, I'm placing it above your heart. Put it above your heart right now. Okay, it goes above your heart. It points up toward all your greatest dreams coming true. And the tradition is that I take the spark from my heart and put it in the cheerleaders in this ribbon right there. It's the sound that makes dreams come true. And now we say, and the sound is an a one and a two and a three. Bing!
Bing,
Bing, bing. And every
bing.
time you hear a bing, you'll know that a child just got their dream.
Yes. We'll be taking my ribbons, your ribbons, around the school on Tuesday when we come back from the 3-day weekend. It's
Right.
my last day with my students, and so my students will be taking, um, honoring all staff and adults in the school on Tuesday. So they're very excited about it, and they practiced, and one student honored somebody, and they said, well, no, you didn't do the bang. And and he goes, and a one and a
Me
two and a
too.
three, bang, and he did it. He did it. They're very excited. They all want to meet you. They love
I,
you.
what's so sweet of me hearing that? I'm going to share something so that we can all know that we can honor somebody and don't know the impact we're making because the kids will go home and honor their parents, their
A lot
siblings,
of them have.
and they'll say, I'm sorry, and the parents will be crying and they'll be writing stories about the difference they made as we mature this and get them familiar with this. We call it Blue Ribbon Week. There's a component for that. But I just want to share something that I'll pass on to you because I was speaking to uh, a corporation, a woman at a corporation in Japan this morning, and they're using our ribbons in our whole ceremony. And they say, um, I said, would you like the ribbons in Japanese? And they go, no, everybody's wearing it in the corporation. They're going, hey, I got something from America that says who I am makes a difference. I said, what is your focus? And they said, I'll read it from you. They said, we want to empower all of our employees, nurture the relationships, improve the work environment, and create a culture of appreciation. And I think that what we're doing is that. And because I know the statistic of 2 out of every 3 um, suicide has is the number one cause of death among kids that are 10 to 34 years old and so much younger now. So that's a pretty big, it's like 2 out of every 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we grow up, and if you haven't thought about suicide or committed suicide because you can't have a voice about that anymore. I know I thought about suicide a lot when I was a millionaire, and I didn't take my life because I created this blue ribbon. There's a whole story behind that, but what I'd like to really bring in right now is um, how did you bring your whole community together in Moose Lake? Because
How did I?
you decided that you were going to come to California, right?
Yep, yep. I'll tell that story and then I gotta run to a meeting, okay?
Sure, absolutely.
All right. So, um, well, in my classroom, I did the blue ribbons for their suicide prevention presentation, and I always wanted to take it one step farther. And so I took your Stepping Stone together class, and that really kind of motivated me to take it farther, to honor more people and make sure there was a whole community that knew they were loved and respected. So I decided to launch Moose Lake as the second blue ribbon city in the world after you told me about Carlsbad being the first blue ribbon city. And I was able to come down and kind of see how you guys did it and take notes. And I came back to Moose Lake and kind of pulled it all together from what I saw and kind of what I had a vision and kind of made it my own and was able to have you come up and help launch it. And it was an amazing thing. We had 300 plus people, 350, maybe somewhere in there come, and we were able to honor the local workers, the paramedics, the clergy, etc. And it was really a neat experience for me to be able to um, tell everybody how I feel about them and honor people and to try to save lives. So we did it. It
So
was
when
pretty
you're
neat.
fired up and when you can matter and make a difference and bring people together in a heartbeat, and you flew out from Minnesota to California on a heartbeat because you said if Hannah, who was 19 years old at the time, if she's going to be the leader of the first blue ribbon city in the world, I'm the second.
Absolutely.
And now we have many more cities and countries around the world. So I want to just be blessed by this moment in time. We'll share what you have to say with the world, and just let everybody know that Grandma Sparky loves you all.